Math 63, Chapter 4, Test Review, Problem 10. I think we're going to try and get 10 and 11 done in this last video. It says calculate the volume of the part to 1 decimal place, the volume, and I see there's a hole in here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to find the volume of the solid part, the solid, and I'm going to subtract the volume of the hole. And that should in turn give me the volume of the part. Volume of the part. All right. I'm thinking here that this solid part's going to be kind of involved. What's involved here? Can you see that if I draw a line in here, I basically have a rectangular prism on the left and a half a cylinder on the right, and that makes up this solid. So got this rectangular thing on the left and a cylinder on the right. So the volume of my solid, is going to be equal to the volume of the rectangular part of it plus a half of the volume of a cylinder. So let's take a look at that. Well, the rectangle measures 9.8 centimeters by 13.4 centimeters by how deep is it? What's the thickness? 2.3. So I've got 9.8 times 13.4 times 2.3. Okay. And the half a cylinder is going to be 1/2, let's see, this is a plus sign, 1/2 the volume of this cylinder. Well, formula for volume of a cylinder is pi r squared, volume is equal to pi r squared h. Okay, so I want half of that. So it's times pi times, what's the radius squared? Well, it says that the radius is 1.7. So I'm going to say 1.7 squared times the thickness of this, the height, times 2.3. Times 2.3. Okay, so let's put all that together. So I have 9.8 times 13.4 times 2.3. Just for the heck of it, I'll see what that equals. 302. 302, that's 10, 130. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Plus 1/2, so I'll use 0.5 for that, times pi, times 1.7 squared, times 2.3. So the volume of my solid is 312.4770, and this is in terms of cubic centimeters. Okay, so that's just the whole solid piece. Now I have to find the volume of that hole that I'm going to be taking out. So I'll say that the volume of the hole, that's just using the formula for a cylinder, which is pi r squared h. Well, I guess I don't have to write it down again. It's up on top, pi r squared h. And this guy is, again, 1.7 centimeters squared times the thickness, which is 2.3. And I just realized that I made a mistake up here. When I was adding in this cylinder over here, I used 1.7. That's not right. That is for the tiny circle. I want the radius of the big circle. So this 1.7 has got to come out. And I'm going to redo this. Okay, what is the radius of this big circle? He's just half of 9.8. So the radius of the big circle, is what? 9.8 divided by 2, 4.9. 4.9, and these are centimeters. So this is for the large circle. So this is going to be 4.9 in here. So let's redo this. So I have, let's clear this out, 9.8 times 13.4 times 2.3 plus 0.5 times pi times 4.9 squared times 2.3. 388.7800. Okay, so back to the hole that's coming out of here. I've got pi times 1.7, because that is the radius of the small guy, times the thickness, which is 2.3. Pi times 1.7 squared times 2.3. 20.8821. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my plan. I'm going to take the answer from the solid and subtract the answer for the hole, and that'll give me the volume for the part. The volume for the part. So I'm going to have, I'm going to leave this guy in here and recall him. 388.78 minus, I'm going to recall that answer. So it's 367.8978 cubic centimeters, and it says to one, round it off to 1, so 367.9 cubic centimeters. 367.9. Okay. Calculate the weight of the part in problem 10 if it's made of tungsten, which that weighs that many grams per cubic inch to 1 decimal per cubic inch. You will need to consider that the part is measured in centimeters. Okay, so I'm not using a lookup table. I'm just using this information that tungsten is 14.2 grams for 1 cubic inch. All right, well, I've got cubic centimeters up here, so I'm going to have to change this. This is going to require a conversion chain. So I've got 367.9 cubic centimeters, and I want to change that over to cubic inches. So I'm going to pull up my handy dandy reference chart here, and this is pertaining to volume, and I do have a conversion right there. 1 cubic inch equals 16.387 cubic centimeters. So 16.387 cubic centimeters goes on the bottom, and 1 cubic inch goes on the top. So that'll take me from cubic centimeters to cubic inches, and now I'm going to use this guy to figure out how much it weighs. So I've got 1 cubic inch, and I've got 14.2 grams on top. And all I have to do is multiply. When this guy's still sitting in here, so it's times 14.2 divided by 16.387. 318.7983, and it says that it wants at 1 decimal point. 318.8, and this is in terms of grams. Grams. Let's see. Weighing how many grams? Find the weight just in grams. 318.8 grams. So that's the end of our Chapter 4 test review, and I wish you a lot of luck. I hope you do well.